How you doing? This is Brotha T. If you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts and other merch right there in the description. Just hit the link.
You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through.
How you doing? This is Terry Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. So today is going to be very exciting. Trust me, very exciting. But before I get to it, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, we can continue to give you these pine cones of wisdom. If you don't know what they are, stick on the channel, or stick around and stay on the channel and you'll get it. Trust me. So today, today I'm going to talk about the 40-year-old version of the virgin. Right? So, as you guys probably know, if you looked at enough of my videos, you know I've been going on dating sites, kind of trying to see what's going on out there, trying to test the water. She really wanted to, but you get what I'm saying. She's not going to have somebody, right? So number 5, she was a bad communicator. She kept interrupting me to get more questions in, right? And that's not active listening. If you look at my video on active listening, you would know that one of the big things with active listening, if you're going to do it effectively, is listening and letting the other person speak, right? And waiting till that person is done for them to speak. What she did very often was when we had conversations and I would get into something, and it was especially if I was passionate about something, she would let me, I would get into it a little bit, and then she would slice right in, right? For instance, I was talking about some of the things that I do on a technical side, right? Because sometimes I build sales funnels and websites for businesses, and you know, I'm saying, hey, you know, this is a cool thing, I'm learning this, and you know, I'm looking into that, and she just cut right through it, wham! Did you? And asked about my education. I was kind of like, well, I don't mind you asking questions, and I don't mind you asking questions about my education, but you kind of like cut me off to do it. And sometimes as human beings, we do that to each other, right? Sometimes we come in and sometimes we just don't listen to each other. But she made it very, very, very frequently. She made it a habit, right? She did it frequently, and she did it so frequently that it started getting on my nerves. Family, she started getting on my nerves with it. So that was one thing, right? And that was very, oh my God, it got to the point where I was kind of like, well, let me tell you this, because I'm a very patient person. I can't continue doing this because I can't, you know, I'm a full grown man. Okay. So I can't have people stopping me in mid sentence to add something else when I haven't gotten or fully expressed what I'm trying to express. I gave her that courtesy. Whenever I asked her a question, I let her finish. Or if I made a mistake and, you know, interrupted her in the middle of it, I would apologize and gave her the floor so she can finish that. Now, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be perfect, but if you have if you're conscious, said it wrong. If you're conscious of another person in their speaking, then you're going to let them fully express what they need to say. And one thing that kind of clues you in on a person, whenever they listen to you talk a little bit and come right in and they do it frequently, that often means that they're not listening to you. Because if they were listening to you, they would want to hear the end of it, right? Just think about any good story. You want to hear the beginning, the middle, and the end. Whenever a person doesn't want to hear the end of that story, he, whoever is not listening to you. Let's go to the next one. So the next thing, she divulged to me that she never had a serious relationship, which tells me that her relationship skills were just, I was going to say eroded, but you can't erode something that was never there. She never developed relationship skills, which to me kind of shed light on why she kept interrupting me, because she never really learned how to have communications with the opposite sex in terms of an intimate conversation. And this is a problem. I want you to think of relationship skills like muscles, right? If you have muscles, like Brother T's got muscles, I'm not gonna show you the whole muscles. I don't want the ladies to go crazy, right? Just kidding. All right. So, but I want you to think about it like that. Relationship is like a muscle, and if you don't exercise it, then you will get bad at it, actually, or you just won't know how to do it. So when we have relationships, whether they go good or bad, we develop those muscles. We know how it is to be with another person who has another whole personality, how to sometimes compromise in order for the relationship to go smoothly, right? If you never work on those muscles, then you just don't know how to relate to another person. You become self-centered a lot of times. And trust me, if you never had a relationship, intimate relationship with the opposite sex, especially if you're heterosexual, of course, then you're going to be kind of awkward in that way. It's going to be hard for you to relate to others. And you know, unfortunately, she suffered from that. And then I tried to kind of tell her in a good way, but I don't think she received it, right? So once you don't like a person, it's hard to take information from them, okay? That's just how it is. And she also for instance, I've been going through things with on the you know, as far as friend of the court and child support. They have been not treating me correctly, and there's been a couple of things that are just not right in the system. And I pointed these out, and she's whatever, let's go. You know, that's how she is. It's like, yeah, whatever. But anything that has to do with a woman, she wants to hear it. She's there. She wants to hear it. She's very clear in her opinions of it. And, you know, it's all about, let's get those rights and let's get that equality. But when I tell her, flipped it, and I said, well, you know, this man got treated this way because of this. And sometimes men get a unfair deal in some aspects of society. She really didn't want to hear it. She just wanted to go to the next subject. And that, it didn't hurt my feelings or anything, but at the same time I said, well, this is a problem, right? Because long term, I can't be with somebody, let's say something happens to me. And I'm not taking a victim mentality in this. I'm just saying sometimes stuff just happens to you, right? People lie on you, people try to destroy you and stuff like that, you know, especially if you make it to a certain level. And so sometimes you need your partner to be that person you can come to and say, hey man, they trying to kill me out here, you know what I mean? It's whoa, I gotta withstand it. You need somebody that's going to at least understand, right? Or at least listen to you, right? And not be like, well, yeah, well, whatever, stop crying, wussy, let's go. You know what I mean? And it kind of got like that, and I was kind of like, okay, that's not gonna work for me, right? I need somebody that I can communicate with back and forth. Now, I'm not going to always express myself like that, or be overly dramatic or overly expressive even. But when I do express myself, I have no problem doing it, and I need it to be both ways. I need the door to be open. But, you know, to guys out there, don't divulge too much though. Don't do it all the time. They'll lose respect for you anyway. Oh, actually, before I go to the next one, I just want to be clear that I have no problem with feminism as a whole. The actual definition of feminism, I have no problem with that, okay? Because there are some great things that the feminist movement brought about, okay? But there are some trash things that the feminist movement, the toxic part of the feminist movement have brought about. And we'll talk about some of those later, but most of them involve not really, you know, caring about the rights of men. So, all right. So number two, she really thought she had a multitude of choices. She does not. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this? What I meant is you're 40 years old, you know, you're a virgin, which is commendable. It's very, wow. You get a lot of respect for that. Actually, that's one of the things that made me interested, because I'm like, well, let me see what's over here, right? Let me see what's there, because that's not common, right? So I wanted to see. I like things that are unique. Don't judge me, all right? So, but she really thought like, oh yeah, I got all these choices. I can just go over here and do that. No, no. It doesn't work like that. All right. I'm going to try to say this without being disrespectful, but when you're a woman, sometimes the bulk of your choices are going to come when you are younger, by way of you being, you know, most people like, let's see, how can I put this? Because I don't want to be disrespectful, right? But women, when they're in their 20s, that is the prime, right? In terms of looks and getting all that attention, right? When you get 30, you still want to get attention. You might still get a lot of attention if you're attractive, right? But in the 20s, you're going to see a difference. And then when you get to 40s, now it starts to thin out a little bit. You're still going to get attention if you're nice looking, right? But admit it, 40-year-old women out there, admit it, especially if you're single and you've been single the whole time, you get a few less people when you're 40 than 20, all right? And I know some fine, some bad 40-year-old women, so like that's not a disrespect. Then when you're 50, it goes down a little more. And if you don't take care of yourself at that Well, this will be number one. Let's just do number one. So number one, she tried to tell her brother how to talk, y'all. Now, if you watch me on this platform, if you've watched me on anything, if you've watched me on Instagram, if you've seen the other YouTube channel, T's Money Tree, Facebook, anything that you see Terrion Wilson, aka Brotha T, on, you can agree or disagree about what I'm talking about. You can say that he can't speak. You can say he fumbles his words. I just did. You can say he stutters every now and then. You can say he uses words incorrectly from time to time. But one thing you can't say is that I won't talk. Okay, so sometimes I'm going to talk. And one of the worst things you can do with me is tell me how to express myself. Now, when we were talking and we tell stories, and I have a tendency to tell stories. I do it on this channel, right? And you guys love it. That's why you come see me. But I was doing that. I was in the stage doing, and she kept telling me that, hey, your stories are too long. Okay. I kind of let it slide the first time, right? And then she tried to say, well, tell the story like this. Whoa. Now, if you know one thing about Brother Terrion Wilson, you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do and how to do it. You just don't. You can suggest or you can do a critique, but you're not going to tell me how to do, when to do, what I do. All right, that's just a fact. And I'll add something else to that, which is telling me how to speak, but it's a little bit along those lines. But that was the last straw. But the straw right before the last straw, when it was getting thinner, was she was asking me about therapy before we even made a watch out. All right, y'all gonna be in therapy within a few months. All right, so this has been your man, Brotha T, and I hope I wasn't too disrespectful, right? I try to keep it respectful.